Hey, would you like to know why I believe there is a God? Well, I can give you just one of the reasons. I have multiple reasons. But how about snake bite? How about snakes? Snakes, period, make me believe that there is a God. I know this right now sounds a little illogical to you, but to me it is very real. Some 6, 7 years ago, uh, lived in a town called Clayton, Oklahoma, right next to my parents. I was right up the hill from them. Our property adjoined, no fence between us. I walked out my front door. I could go to their front door. Oh, probably in about 30, 45 seconds. We were that close. And it was late one night, and normally during the summertime I always wore shorts, but for some reason I had on jeans. It was night, it was dark, and really couldn't see. And I always kept my grass cut short, but had these water sprinklers uh, in the ground. And around those water sprinklers, of course, it'd be wet. Go figure. Okay, well, it's probably about 9:30 at night, and I've just left Mom and Dad's house. Dad was in his man cave, just piddling around, and so I was coming back up to the house. It was dark. The moon was out, and I stopped in the yard for something, uh, and man, I felt something hit my leg. I thought, no, man, that's odd. Maybe I hit a stick or something. Then all of a sudden, something got my leg, and people say, as luck would have it, in this case, this is the one of the reasons that I just know that there's a God. That man, God saw, that God knew, and God allowed me to see. The way the moon was out that night, and I was underneath the shadow of some big, mighty oaks. There was a spot, let's just say, about that big. If I could use my other hand, I would. About the size of a pie plate down on the ground where the moon shone through, and it was right on the Cottonmouth water moccasin. And boy, and it was striking like crazy, that big old white mouth and everything like that. And I backed off a step from it, and I just went down, and I hollered at my dad because he was still in his little man cave. And I said, "Hey, yo, Dad," and he said, kind of, "What do you want?" I said, "I got bit by a snake," and the next thing I know, Dad keeps an arsenal nearby. Trust me, and he come out of his man cave. He's always ready for an opportunity. Not that we're just snake killers by wanting to go out and do that, but he he came running for my life. Is what he was doing. Well, the snake got disposed of, and I went inside, told Corinza what had happened. Here's vanity for you. I wasn't bound to go to the ER being all sweaty and musky. Guess who took him a bath? I did. You can say, well, that's illogical. But the first thing I did is I trusted God, though. Now, I'm not saying uh, any of this for anybody else to try this at home, okay? Um, but I examined my leg, and there were two fang marks. He wasn't very big, but um, big enough. He got through my trousers, and there were two fang marks. And I just kept watching and watching. It really didn't hurt outside the fact that I had two uh, fang marks in my leg, and I kept watching and watching. I prayed about him. And I thought the moment I start seeing a red streak, I'm gone. All right. I'll go to the ER or what have you. So please don't take this as me trying to be an advocate and not going to the hospital. But yeah, all I had were just two little bloody spots. And after about 30 minutes, man, I wasn't feeling a thing or nothing. I mean, there was no sting, there was no anything. And so one of two things happened, and this is where I know God came in. Now, there'll be those that'll try to logic me out of this. There'll be those that are probably smarter than I am that will come up with all the reasons in the world as to why. You know, the snake did one of two things. First off, we know that it struck me twice. Then he bit me once. Okay, I had the fang marks to prove it. All right, he either bit me and God didn't allow the venom to hurt me, or the snake didn't envenomate me. Okay, because some people say, well, they don't always have to envenomate you whenever they strike you. Okay, you can tell me that's either the course of nature, but I tell you, it's the nature of my God to protect me. There's no telling what he's protected you from that you didn't even know. I just happened to walk there and, wow, power to tread on serpents and scorpions. We know this much. There's a God who sees, there's a God who loves, and I believe in God. Just one of the reasons, and a snake would be that.